Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Two Jack Dweebs. My name is Jesse.
My name is Brad.
And today we have a nice special episode for you guys.
Every episode's special. What are you talking about?
Yeah, actually you're right. Every episode is special. Special in our way.
Just like all of our listeners are all special in their own special ways.
Usually it might be a little too special, but hey.
You know, sometimes it's good special, sometimes it's not so good special. Everyone's special, you know?
Am I not too good special? Or not good special?
On today's episode,
On today's episode we have, what was it called again?
What was it called again? We made a list.
No, I know. I forget the wording
of the list that we're doing.
Yes, popular series that you couldn't get into. Or that we couldn't get into.
You know what you could get into that no one else could?
Meth.
Well, I mean that. I was gonna say Bible Black, but you went one step further.
Whoa! Let's not, let's say that for a different epi, Bible Black. Holy gee, man, throwback.
Yeah, throwback. Absolutely, yes. We will do a Bible Black episode.
How about we never do a Bible Black episode? Just please never do
Don't get mad at me because you want to do it. Just everyone knows already.
Who said I want to do it? I think, let me just peep into my emotions real quick. Oh, nope, don't want to do it. There we go.
You guys leave in the comments if you want Jesse to do a Bible Black episode all by himself.
How about I ignore all those comments? Alright, let's get into the episode.
Right. So popular series that we, for whatever reason, couldn't get into. I have a small list. I know you've got a pretty small list too, but we can talk in detail about some of the reasons, right?
I mean, for all the viewers out there are a lot of popular animes, but not all animes are made equally, And
correct.
For some reason, some of them definitely do pop off for reasons that I don't understand. Some are basic, and some are some are too in depth. Maybe some are too nerdy.
I don't think there's anything on my list that's like too. I don't know if I'd classify it as too nerdy to get into, but I kind of see where you're getting at.
There's some series out there. I'd say like Dr. Stone. It's a good one. Don't mind me, and they don't get too nerdy with it, but there's definitely a very big nerd aspect of it that some viewers. I personally like it. I know some people who've watched it or read it didn't like it as much, especially in the manga when it's just a fucking 3-pager of just knowledge dump. Some people don't want to read that, and I get that. Personally, I liked it, but Dr. Stone's not on my list today. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, just as an example of like too nerdy. It's like what you're describing to me right now is like, because I've never read Dr. Stone, but what you're describing to me right now sounds like the political arc in Attack on Titan, where it's just like walls of text of like infiltration planning and stuff. Like, that ain't for me.
Yeah, some people just want to go into a dungeon, slash some dragons, get some EXP, and level up, and touch and kiss big enemy girls. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they made an entire series about that.
They made many series about that.
That's true. Fair. I narrowed my scope to saying just one.
They have to get isekai'd first, and then
right. Yeah. We have to do our isekai episode soon.
Personally, those are my favorite. Anyways, did you want to start us off here?
Sure. Yeah, I can start us off. Okay, so this is one that I talked about I've talked about this across a few episodes that we've done so far. But Demon Slayer, I don't know what it is. I've tried to get into it like 3 separate times now. Like I've watched it.
You recently just tried to get into it again.
Yeah,
like last week or 2.
Yeah. So I picked it up probably 2 years ago now. I got as far as what's the fucking pig dude's name again? Inosuke,
yeah.
Yeah, I got forehead. Yeah. So I got to the arc just after he had been introduced. I just I don't know.
Not even that deep then.
Honestly, no. It's just like that's the thing is that like I got well, like what is that, like 13, 14 episodes maybe?
No, in the anime?
Yeah.
Maybe like 7, maybe.
No, because I'm like episode I'm on my most recent rewatch. I'm episode 6 right now, and Zenitsu hasn't even been introduced yet.
Let's see what episode gets introduced.
Look it up. Check this shit.
Chapter 22 gets introduced. It doesn't say what anime, what series, what episode. Honestly, it doesn't really say. I can't find it right now. Here, you keep talking while I look it up.
Okay. Anyways, I got there, and then I don't know what it was. It's just there wasn't enough drive for me to continue watching it. I found all of the characters in Demon Slayer really boring. And I think we talked about this in our intro anime episode, but it feels very much like a first time anime, a first time weebs anime that they would go to that would get them into anime to begin with. It's it has all the tropes, that is all the traits of your typical shonen anime of cool action scenes and slick animation and sort of this supernatural, almost horror gore sort of angle of things. But I don't know, for me, because I've seen so much and I've read so much that it's just now that stuff's just kind of, it's sort of boring. I've seen it before in one way or another, and I'm just kind of okay, do something different, you know what I mean? And I think that's just what lost me, is that there wasn't enough pull that got me reading or watching further. And I've heard that it's good. You've told me that it gets better and it gets more
it does. I mean, eventually it does get better. I mean, I do understand what you're saying for a lot of it. By the way, it's episode 11, so you are correct in that one. I really thought it was earlier.
No, I remember it was a little bit later, and I was just 11 episodes, and I was just he'd been introduced, and they went through that whole arc with him. They were just recovering at that one lady's house. I don't know, it was fairly deep into the season, and I was it's just not doing it for me. So and like I said, I've tried to go back and rewatch it, just because I dropped it, and then I was I'm gonna give it another chance, and then I wanted to start it from scratch because I literally didn't remember shit about it, and I was I don't want to jump back in where I was. I'm gonna start again. And then I watched 2 episodes, and then I fucking dropped it again, and then recently, last week, I was I'm gonna do it again, and I got 6 episodes in, 7 episodes in. I was fuck, I'm so bored.
I don't know. I find it. I mean, it is very basic in terms of anime and story plot and characters and everything. Even some of the characters I do find very one-noted. I don't know. I think what got to me for that one, that got me into it, was how basic it was, and it wasn't. I do agree with you that it's very much an anime that a first-time anime watcher would watch and to get into anime, and I think that's what's the appeal to me for that one was. I think at that point when I was watching or reading a bunch of manga or watching anime, I was just so engrossed with the darker kind of stuff and very deep slices of life and everything. I think that's the only thing that made me appeal to it. I was it's something just I can casually watch or casually read. It's enjoyable. There's fighting. There's abilities.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, sure. If you just want sort of a, I don't want to set negative, a sort of a mindless series to just throw on and watch. And then,
I wouldn't necessarily say mindless, but it's a very basic anime series. I do agree with you on that part. There is depth to it, but I don't know. It's not too deep of a series.
Yeah, for me it feels a lot like Naruto, in sort of an early Naruto. Honestly, actually, no, I take that back, because early Naruto.
Take that one back. Take that one back. Early Naruto slapped.
Or yeah, early Naruto was good. It feels like late game Naruto.
Yeah.
Whereas it's kind of there's something about, I don't know, the only word that comes to mind for me is just it's bland. There's nothing extra on it. And again, this is just coming from having seen, people who animation. There's stuff that has really slick animation out there for sure. People who like the gore, there's way gorier series. People who I don't know, the weird interplay between the characters and stuff like that. It's been done better on in different series, even throughout shonen, for example. But I don't know, something didn't line up for me. I'm not a fan of it. I probably this time that I drop it, I'm probably not gonna pick it up again. It's just I've tried too many times.
That's fair. No, that's fair, man. And then you know what I didn't like was that everybody loved, even all my friends loved, was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Fuck.
I hated that series. I don't know. Ever since I watched the first episode, like I've watched like I think 2 or 3 seasons of this shithole.
And JoJo's is like held in such high regard too.
I know, like everyone loves it. I really don't get it. Like I like weird animes and weird stuff. I just think this is like a lot of this stuff is so cringy and like and like just very off-putting to me. And I like the weird stuff and like and being cringy in real life. Like I think it's funny to me.
Yeah, one of your favorite series is FLCL. Like
yeah, like no, exactly. Like and again, that series is cringy too, but like it's in a good way of cringe. This one, JoJo, even the storyline to me, like where it's like Gio who has to fight all the JoJos, who gets reincarnated every time or something like that. I forget exactly how it goes. To me, it's just a cop out to make another season. Because eventually the first JoJo will die of old age, and then now Gio has to fight the new guy, the new JoJo, like what, I guess like a decade, 2, 3, 4 decades later, like whatever the case may be. Yeah. I think it's just a cop out to keep making new seasons and new powers, and I get that. I think that part aspect is cool. I think some of the abilities are cool. I just think this series in itself was just so cringy to the point where I'm like, I can't actually watch this. Like this is just like my nerves get fucking cringed out when I watch this fucking series.
I know exactly what you mean. I didn't get deep into JoJo's either for the same thing, and like all of my friends who like watch and have read JoJo's and stuff like that, like when someone's like, hey, did you watch JoJo? And I was like, I tried. Like, well, what season did you start with? I'm like, motherfucker, I started with 1. What am I supposed to do? And everyone's like, oh, start with season 2. It makes more sense. Like, why should I need to like adjust the way?
I need to watch a whole season. Or skip a whole season to get to like the juicy parts of it.
Or even just like in terms of like the I think the way that like the sequence, like the story goes, is apparently season 1 or season 2 technically happens before season 1, and it makes things make more sense. And I'm just like, nah, like it's something about the like. You're right, how weird and cringy it is. And like for me, when I'm watching something, art style is huge, and something about the JoJo art style just doesn't vibe with me. I don't know what it is.
It's a little off-putting. Like I know what you mean, but I know what you mean by the art style. I also wasn't a huge fan of it. Yeah. And I like weird and like non-traditional ways of drawing shit. Like I like art like that too. Like for series, like
for you know what it feels like? It feels like I'm gonna get so much hate for this comment. It feels like really bad Yu-Gi-Oh fan art.
You think? I mean, kind of a little bit
like the way that the hair and the jaw lines and like everything's just like really harsh colors and lines, and it's just like fucking. Oh my god, that gif that you just put in the fucking Discord.
I'm gonna search some JoJo gifs right now, guys, and post it in Discord chat.
But yeah, basically just that. It's just like I don't know. It just feels uncomfortable, and I can see like the influences. It definitely feels like some Fist of the North Star shit. It feels like old school, and JoJo's is old. Like
no, it's a super old one.
Yeah, super old. Which is probably why like it looks like that. But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of the look of the animation and the look of the characters and stuff like that. It's just like that whole off-putting sort of. I don't know. That's a huge part of what does it for me.
It's just. I don't know. I think it's too much. You know what I think the cringe. I think it's too much cringe. Like they're trying too hard to do this.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with you on JoJo though. That was a hard one. I couldn't make it very far.
Yeah, I watched like 3 seasons of this shit. I had to drop it at season 4. I'm like, I can't do this, guys.
That's impressive. I didn't even get that far. Another one that is really, really popular, and I genuinely want to give this one another shot because I know it's supposed to be good at the end, but the fact that I need to get to the end for it to be good drives me fucking nuts. Evangelion.
Really?
Like something about it, maybe it was just like the time that I was watching it. Like it's a very somber story. It's very like depressing. And maybe like just the time that I watched it wasn't quite the right time for me to like really immerse myself in the story or what, but like
I thought you'd be a big fan of that series, to be honest.
Well, that's just it, right? It's like everything that I've heard about the series sounds like it's right up my alley. But something about it just like didn't hook me the way that I wanted it to, and I find that is very much a thing that happens to me with older series. Like they're a really slow burn. Like when you think like
100%. It
like
is
you're
100% slow burn series.
yeah, like you
It's
think
like
like
Cowboy
you're.
Bebop.
I was just about to say like Bebop and like even like old school like Trigun and stuff like that. Like those are much slower burn than like your average anime today, which is good. Like you want like a good long form story, but for me, for some reason, and I don't know why, it was just like I said, it might just been like the time that I tried to watch it. It just didn't land for me. I wasn't drawn back to it to finish it. And I know it ends up amazing, and I want to go back, but it's just like for right now, for like one of the most popular series, I couldn't get through it.
I think you might do yourself a benefit rewatching it. Like I won't rewatch it now because I don't have time for such a slow burn. Not even that. Like it's just I've already seen it once. It's one of those series where you'll watch it once. You don't need to see it again. From start to finish. I think you would really do yourself a benefit rewatching it. I think it's been years since I've seen it, but I remember it being one of my like favorites at the time.
Yeah, and I know it's like a huge psychological side too. Like I'm a big fan of like psychological stuff in series, so like I know that like that's a big draw. But yeah, like I said, first time around, something didn't hook me. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
That one shocked me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie with you.
Yeah, I think anyone I tell that to, they're like, "Fuck, really?"
No, I'm actually very surprised.
So it's on the list. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, damn, bro. Go watch it.
Go watch. Yeah, I will. I promise I'll give it another shot.
Good. Good. It's a good one. The hell? Another series that I personally couldn't get into was Black Clover. I fucking hated Black Clover. Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an original manga material, does it? Or was it made afterwards?
No. It's got original manga.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe the manga's better. I never, just solely off the anime, I never got into the manga because I was like, dude, this story sucks. The main character sucks. The animation and fight scenes suck. Like everything about it, to me, it just seemed like Naruto ended, and and Shonen wanted something to replace it, and they quickly threw this together and tossed it out. I thought the MC was just a crybaby and screaming the whole time. I found him quite annoying. Even the other characters in the show, like some of the demons look sick, to be honest with you, and I like some of their powers.
Yeah.
But even even the main MC and his crew, like, I just found them very just annoying or boring, you know.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on this one. It's again, it kind of runs that kind of how I feel with Demon Slayer. Honestly, is that it feels like a bunch of other series you've already watched, just done worse. Like it feels like, for me, it felt like Soul Eater. It felt like
it's like a Walmart version of fucking Naruto or Soul Eater.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, Fairy Tail as well. Like it felt like Fairy Tail, where it was just like sort of all magic based and stuff like that, but just like not done as well. Yeah, I'd agree with this one. I didn't get very far into Black Clover, and I was just like, it's not doing it for me.
Glad we're on the same page on that one. Black Clover sucked.
We're gonna get so much hate for this episode, I feel like.
It's okay.
Another really popular one, and again, it's an older one and it's a slow burn one, so maybe I just have a trend going. But have you ever seen the series Monster?
Not that I can think of.
It's an interesting premise, but it's, like I said, it's in terms of slow burn. This is really fucking slow burn. Like I'm pretty sure there's like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's over like 60 episodes or something like that. I can't even remember how many. It's, again, premise-wise, it's very interesting. It's like a cat and mouse game between like this dude and another dude, and both of them are super smart, and they're just like the ones basically just like testing his boundaries on like how far he's willing to go as a human being to like stop someone who's bad, who's evil, right? Very interesting, very like realistic and gritty, which is different from, I mean, I wouldn't even classify it. It's not shonen at all. I think it's more seinen, I think. And yeah, like very interesting, but also the whole story is really heavily rooted in history, like the fall of the Berlin Wall and the fallout from all the world wars and stuff like that. And a lot of that plays into the story, and I'm not a huge history buff. Right. So while that would be really cool, because like they did a really good job with grounding it in terms of like the real life events and things like that have happened, it didn't do anything for me of just like it felt like I needed to do homework to really understand the stakes and like the setting and everything, and I was just like, I just want to see the story between these two characters. I don't really like, I know that the world is important and like the history is important, but it's just like I couldn't get through, like I just wanted to sit and enjoy something, not have to sit and like research shit.
I'm actually looking this up right now. It is apparently this is getting like amazing reviews.
Oh, it's like one of the top rated anime of all time. Like I'm pretty sure like on my anime list it's like number 2 or number 3 of like best of all time kind of thing, and like that's the whole reason I picked it up, because I was like, the premise sounds amazing. Like again, it's all psychological. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a psychological play. It's rooted in real life, but like I don't know, something about it was just like too real that I was just like, if they like remade it live action, I'd be more willing to give it a chance, which is weird to say.
I don't know. I might pick this up. I'm just looking at some of the reviews right now, and this looks super good.
Yeah, it's old school, like very very old school, early to mid 90s, I think, or like early 2000s rather. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's 2004. Actually, 74 episodes. Oh shit, it's one of these ones.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that like the way that it's laid out is like they set up the premise really, really well in the first few episodes, and like those few episodes really hooked me, but then like it drags its fucking feet a lot, and like I get why they're giving like the plot room to breathe and for you to like kind of feel what's going on between the characters and stuff like that, but like again, a lot of it was just, it just felt like homework, you know what I mean? If I'd say give it a shot. Like I was enjoying the first few episodes, and if you can make it through, apparently it's one of the best anime of all time. Like I still want to pick it up and finish it, but like this is one that I'd absolutely just dropped because I was just like, I never found a time where I was like, yeah, I could watch that again, or yeah, I could see what's going on. It's just nothing, it didn't draw me anymore.
All right, yeah, I'll give it a listen or a watch and see if I can get into it. I think I've been looking for something for like a late night watch, anyways, so it's pretty good for me. Maybe
you watch it and then I'll pick it up again, and maybe we'll do a retro review on Monster.
That's 74 episodes, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's 2,222 minutes, man. Holy shit. Okay, let's see here. I can probably get it out in a weekend or two. Alright, let's see here. What's on my list here? I only have one more, honestly. And I know I'm feeling a lot of slack for this one. But I really did not enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, at all. The manga, okay. I did recently pick up the manga maybe a few months ago, and I've been reading it chapter by chapter. And I read I've watched videos on like what's happened in between from the last time I've watched it. Solely only because I just want to know how this ends. Not that I'm like really like I like it or anything, but I really did not like Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought, again, to me it's another like, well, for you it would be like a Demon Slayer or what's the other one, like Black Clover, like a really Walmart version of shonens that were popular before.
Yeah.
And the not only that, but the biggest thing that pissed me off about that show was that they made the main MC so OP at the very beginning of the series. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand why and like what happens later down the road, but as a first-time viewer of getting into it, especially with like watching so many of prior like shonen and stuff like that, I thought it was just so boring because he would lose a fight, right? Itadori, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Sakuna just comes out and then one-shots him every single time for the first like 4 or 5 fights. And I'm like, dude, this is so boring. Like, I don't want to watch this. Like it's just to me it just felt like very boring and poorly done. Now I get it down the road just because I'm like 300 chapters deep now, and I know why what happened and blah 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 blah. It just, I don't know, getting to that point was so boring and like not entertaining that I couldn't get into it, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that a lot of, because I'm the same as you. I got pretty far in, and like, I mean, not as far as you, but I maybe it's the fact that it was just like, I don't vibe with a high school setting anymore. I'm an old man.
Yeah,
now.
I mean we're pretty old now.
So like maybe that was it. It was just like for kids who are coming up and just getting into anime, or kids who are like in high school and see themselves in those characters, or like those familiar settings. Like I could see why it's popular. Like the animation's fucking slick as hell. Like it looks beautiful, and the fights are pretty sick too. Like in terms of characters, like when I was watching / reading, like anytime Gojo was on screen, I'm like, okay, I like this character, he's cool, but like,
yeah, like it's not like everything about it is pretty cool, like in terms of like there's a whole lot to that series I didn't jive with.
Yeah, like I don't know, something about like even like the villains and stuff like that, like the antagonists are just like, they just look like, I don't know, again, that whole like character design and art style and stuff like that, the antagonists were like really fucking boring to me.
I think they had the 4 disasters demon or whatever.
Fucking who knows? I don't even remember anymore. But yeah, I agree with you on JJK. Like it doesn't hit for me. And I was actually chatting with a buddy that we work with actually, and he's a big JJK fan, and he like as a first time anime viewer is one of his first series that he picked up. And we were talking about it, and even he was like, yeah, it was a bit of a slog to get through because like the powers are confusing.
They're very confusing powers.
Yeah, like the story's all over the place in the first season. He's like, things get better and they get tighter as you go through, and like while I understand that, and like for sure that's going to happen, I couldn't make it to that pivot point of like, okay, I can see why people like this so far. Like I'm sure it's there and I'm sure it does get better, but I couldn't get to it myself.
Yeah, no, 100%. I also, the story is so amazing. I think for a series, if you have to watch a YouTube video of someone else explaining to you like how it works, I think that's like a bad sign of storytelling. I think like I understand if you watch it just for the sake of watching it and like you enjoy the content, but like if you need to watch it to understand it fully and how it works, I think that's like just very messy like storytelling. You shouldn't, as a casual reader, need to do that.
Yeah, like I should. Yeah, again, that homework aspect of like, okay, how do these powers work? Why do they work this way or whatever? Like,
yeah, like if they're not properly explained in the series, it should just honestly be like a blip, and like, this guy's power works by using his soul, energizes, blah blah blah, yin and yang, blah blah blah, produces fire out of his fist, blah blah blah. Like it should just be a little blip there.
Yeah,
and that's
just like I think of the way that My Hero does their character introductions and what their quirk is. Of like, their quirk is blah 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 and it does blah blah blah. Like that's all you need, and then anything over and above, like you kind of, it makes sense to what that power is, rather than like sitting down and having to read a textbook on what the fuck a domain expansion is and how the fuck it works and why it looks different all the time and blah 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 blah. Like fuck.
Yeah. Do you have any more or less on your list? I think you have one more, right?
I've got one more. It's not an anime series yet. With how popular it is and like the art style and stuff like that, I can see that it probably will be. And I know we talked about this one as well. But Marriage Toxin manga series that came out, I don't even know when it came out, but like you and I picked it up pretty early. We picked it up in like chapter like 10 or 12 or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's like 2 years ago.
Something like that, yeah. And it was like, it's entertaining for like the first, what, I'd say two arcs
maybe,
and then it just
stretch.
Yeah, and then it just gets like repetitive. Like it's just the same thing over and over again. Is this dude just like, he's so awkward and quirky and whatever, but he's also like really OP, and he's got this like this ability to just, you know, make himself more OP the more that he poisons himself, and you're like, oh, wonder how he's gonna get out of this one. Oh, he's just gonna poison himself more. Oh, but that'll kill him. Oh no, he's built up a tolerance to how much he's poisoned himself, so he can now poison himself more. Like
yeah, so I have actually kept up with this one weekly. It's just on my list, and like I like the series enough to read it weekly. I don't think it's a good series because, as you were mentioning before, it is. I'll tell you right now, there's been 2 or 3 arcs since you've last dropped it.
Yeah.
And it's the same fucking story. You know, a new girl gets introduced. He has to save her. She falls in love with him. They don't. Then he gets her number, and then they don't really do anything from them. Then he just moves on to a new girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, that's
it every fucking time.
Yeah, and for those who like haven't seen this manga or picked it up, because again, it doesn't have an anime, so like the premise is really interesting. Like the main character is the head of a family of assassins, who uses poison as their main assassination method, and to make sure that his younger sister basically doesn't get sold off into an arranged marriage to continue their lineage and continue their family's like pedigree and stuff like that. He now needs to find a wife to start a family and whatever, but he like really had no interest in like doing that, but he doesn't want his sister to basically be like sold. So he teams up with a con man who is more often than not a con woman, because he's a cross-dresser, and the con man woman is just basically like trying to teach him how to like talk to girls and how to flirt and stuff like that while getting into like assassination hijinks and stuff like that. And then, like, the premise sounds like a lot of fun, and like the first few arcs absolutely were, but yeah, repetitive as hell once it gets to like a certain point, because like he meets a new girl, they get into some crazy situation where he needs to bust out his like poisons and stuff like that. He saves her from something, and he gets her number, and then a new girl comes, and the same thing happens again and again.
Same
and
thing
again.
every single time. And I will admit the power-ups are cool. The abilities of the other assassins are cool, but the core story in itself doesn't change for 5 or 6 arcs, and it's like it is a bit of a slaw. Like when I do read it, I do just skim it. I don't really care anymore, honestly. Like right now they're on what's the power? The enemy power before was like ghosts. Now this one's like guns. Okay, like the gun clan comes out. Like what?
Yeah, and like you said before, like the all the families had like different ones. Like there was like animal users and this guy who used sound and like really interesting shit. And now we have guns. Like it just seems like really, really boring now.
Oh, before that one was windmill. Not even windmill.
Okay. Like
yeah, that was fucking sick. They're on fucking bikes and they're instead of wheels, it's windmills, like the fucking plastic ones as a kid. Real bad man, you know.
Yeah, and like the illustrations look great. Like the art.
For the art's great. Like, I love the art.
Fucking great. Sick. Like what's it? Fuck. What the hell is the main character's name again? I can't even remember.
I think Ghetto is the name.
Oh, Garo. Yeah. He like when he gets serious, and he throws on that like the gas mask to like poison himself and shit. Like those panels look slick as hell.
100%. I love his design. Like, everything about it is cool, right? Some of the aspects of the villains and the power-ups maybe not as cool down the road, but like everything else about it's like a nice series. But the core aspect of the series is just such copy and paste of each arc that it's literally the same thing. Like it's girl needs help. You know, he gets introduced to a girl. She needs help. She either gets kidnapped or she's in trouble in some sort of way, and he needs to save her every single fucking time. Copy and paste out 6 arcs. It's gonna be the same fucking thing. It gets really boring really fast.
Yeah, I dropped it pretty early on, like when I think I got to like the 2nd or 3rd arc, and then I was like, no, it's the same. Like I'm done now. Yeah, which is too bad because again, like you said, everything else, like the premise of it, the art, even like the action and the abilities and stuff like that, all of that works. It's just like if you keep doing it over and over and over, like
it's not gonna work eventually.
Yeah, but that's it for my list. That's all I got.
Yeah, I have no more on my list either.
What about you guys? What popular series didn't do it for you? Was it anything on our list? Was it something we didn't mention? Was it One Piece? I swear to God, if it's One Piece.
If you guys put One Piece on your list, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Anyways.
That's aggressive.
Hey man, you can't hate on One Piece. That's it.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just said it was aggressive.
Exactly. You cannot hate on One Piece. I think, you know what? If those guys who've never tried One Piece, just do it. Like, I don't care. Just do it, man. It's so much better than any other fucking series. Just do it.
It is the most popular series on the planet for a reason. It's fucking incredible.
It is goated beyond your imagination. All right, you will fall in love. You will cry. You will be happy. You will laugh, and then you'll cry some more.
Yep. That is all of that is accurate. Probably in that exact pattern.
You don't cry as much anymore. I think the early One Piece, you definitely cried a lot more.
Man, I don't know. We just went through that Kuma flashback, and that shit hit pretty fucking hard.
I know. Okay,
don't come at me with saying that you didn't cry a little bit when you found out what happened to Ginny. Like,
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just go back and think of Mary or like.
Oh God.
Shit, I think those kind of arcs. That was what got to me hard.
Yeah, those Luffy versus Usopp. That tearjerker fight.
Like, how are two best friends gonna fight? Like, how are you not gonna cry about that? Like, come on, man. Like, how are you not gonna fucking cry over that?
I think honestly, if you didn't cry during either the Usopp and Luffy fight or when Mary died, you don't have a soul.
You're a psychopath. If you I can understand if you didn't cry between Usopp and Luffy, right? That's like, maybe you're not, you're just two bros fighting, right? You don't understand it. Yeah. But if you did not cry when you watched Mary say her final goodbyes and burn in the ocean and fucking just wish that she could just take you a little bit further as much as she could, you are a fucking certified psychopath, right? And you need therapy and help.
She just wanted to take them a little bit further.
Just a little bit further, man. I'm gonna watch that scene after this and go cry.
I'm gonna sob so hard.
Anyways, thanks for the episode, guys. Thanks for listening, tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Leave all the good comments down below or hating on us. Doesn't really matter.
Yep, doesn't matter. Interaction is great. Absolutely. Yeah, if you wanna call us fucking weeb ass motherfuckers, I don't care. Come on in.
Yeah, do it, man.
Engage in the post.
I am a weeb ass motherfucker. God
absolutely. All I ask is that you get your macros.
Get your macros in at least. All right, guys. 200 grams protein. Come on now. Chop it up.
Even if you weigh 120, 200 grams of protein.
Oh, minimum 200 grams. You weigh 120. Fuck, I'm bumping you to 300, buddy. All right, take care, guys.
Fuck. All right, easy.